What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Games at Large, episode 78. Sorry for the late start. We got another all chocolate cast tonight. We got with us Shadow Fox. What's up, man?
What's going on, Road Ninja K9 Descent? Let's get it.
All right. We also got the Good Shepherd,
What's going on? 88 Special coming through.
and we got a member who hasn't been around in a while, Twilight. What's up, man?
What's happening? And I'm actually caramel. Get it right.
The caramel.
Man, stop fronting. Chocolate's chocolate.
The caramel cast as it is. Then tonight we got a few topics, but first we got one that just kind of hit, and I'm gonna let Shadow take the first one. So Shadow.
A three-letter entity with regards to gaming news on the internet has decided to release a story called "Is It Too Late for Nintendo X to Compete this Generation?"
Oh,
And
God.
I'm trying to figure out like why. It just seems really dumb for me for that to be even a comment. Um, Wii U is the start of the eighth generation. So if Nintendo releases the next console, why would it even be trying to compete with eighth generation? It would still be part of the ninth generation because it would be the next Nintendo hardware if the NX is actually that hardware. So yeah, this story apparently is
Quote.
is being talked about, and I just don't understand. These guys are idiots. They're oh well, it's gonna compete with the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. Nintendo never competes with anybody like that directly anyway, and their hardware just happens to be released at the same time every 4 to 6 years.
Oh, my
Just
goodness.
like every 4 to 6 years, Nintendo releases their hardware, and Microsoft and Sony didn't for the last couple. So, uh,
What scares me more is that they're being taken seriously by the mass public. That's what worries me more.
yeah, and unfortunately, that's going to be the thing because apparently Nintendo is playing in their wheelhouse instead of the other way around, and well, even if there was no, how can I say this? There was nobody running, say, the time frame, if you will. It's still a general time frame whenever simultaneous hardware releases happen. So one generation of console hardware comes out between 2012 and 2013. Another one comes out anywhere between, I guess the rumor is 2016 and 2017 now, right?
Yeah.
And that would be the next generation or the next era of consoles. That's just common fucking sense. Excuse my French.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand where that's coming from. Twilight, man, what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, can we just look at what happened with the Wii U, even though the Wii U has turned out to not be a major success at all? When the Wii U came out, it pretty much spurred on the other companies to put out their systems sooner than they would have liked. I mean, the Xbox One and the PS4.
Yeah, they wanted them
weren't
to go 10
finished when
years.
they came out. They weren't ready to come out. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, Nintendo can compete. They're gonna spur on the ninth generation. And it's like, what do you expect them to do other than put out a system sooner than later? Like, why would they try to continue with the Wii U in the state that system is in the state that Nintendo's uh, uh, their image is in right now? I mean, they need something new in order to get that attention back, in order to get their mind share back. It's like that's what people are talking about power and everything with this system. It's not about that. It's about Nintendo's mind share and their grip and their ability to like engage their audience again. You know what I'm saying? And the Wii U is not engaging. The games on the Wii U are very engaging, but the Wii U itself is not an engaging system. You know what I'm saying? They need to get that back, and it needs to happen sooner than later. So when people say, "Oh, they can't," how can they compete? How can they not compete by releasing a system at a crazy ass time like next year or even the year after? I mean, that's right smack dab in the middle of these other consoles' life cycle. You can't help but gain attention from that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's my opinion.
And on top of that, you got to remember, since Sony and Microsoft, a lot of their games got pushed back to next year anyway. They're not going to be in a position, even if, like, say the next Nintendo console doesn't come out until 2017, Sony and Microsoft ain't going to be able to put out anything else at that point because they're still trying to get their money back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
these new systems haven't even had no games come out for them either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like these systems are still trying to get their own feet off the ground.
Exactly.
it seems at that point it'll be Sony versus Nintendo again now, because what happened with the Wii U was since Sony and Microsoft knew they couldn't get their feet off the ground running in time, they basically coerced the third parties or whatever basically to stray away from their platform and to focus on theirs by handing them development kits and stuff, whatever under the table deals they had to do to get people on board. Now Microsoft isn't going to be doing that anymore because they're finally realizing that first party actually makes you money. So they're done with those kind of deals. So it's probably just going to be Sony doing it now. So that how much money does Sony have to waste on that kind of stuff?
I was going to say at that point, Sony can hardly afford to do those type of tactics at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Nintendo caught them with their draws down with the Wii U. They rushed, and it showed because there were no games really ready for Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So,
I mean, the Wii U was barely even ready, but it still
was enough.
The industry into high gear again. You know,
because they're not dumb. They can't leave Nintendo on the market by themselves for 2 years in a row.
No,
they couldn't.
No, and I tell you one thing: had the Xbox and the PS4 come out a year later, the Wii U probably would have had a slightly better chance. Maybe they wouldn't have been at just 10 million at this point in the life cycle.
I put it this way: I'm fairly certain the Grand Theft Auto title would have been released for it by then.
Oh yeah. You know, it's just Sony and Microsoft, even though the systems weren't finished, they did what they had to do, and I think in order to keep the Wii U down the way it's been, I think that was they did what they had to do for sure, definitely.
Yeah, it's business.
But at this point, if this NX turns out to be anywhere, even half or 75% of what people are saying it's going to be, they're gonna have some trouble. These other companies might have some trouble, or I mean, I don't know if it's gonna have some trouble. I just think that a new audience, best case scenario, a new audience is born from the NX,
And that's what has me interested, because the whole thing is, I still think the NX is coming a touch too early, but it's in line with its regular cycle anyway. Mm-hmm. I'm more curious to see what Sony and Microsoft is going to do, because they already rushed the current platforms out in the first place. So if Nintendo busts out a new system which could quote-unquote rival, if not destroy, the power level and capabilities of the current 8th generation system, what are they going to do? How are they going to stay on top?
Can we be real, though? Nintendo is not about to put out this new system to compete. They're not.
Oh, we know that. Yeah. We've been on that. That's not the MO.
Yeah, they put this system out to further what Nintendo has.
Their system being more powerful would be an also ran, because it would cost more money for them to produce one to be weaker at this point. So it would just be, at this point, it would just, I won't say it would be common sense, it would just be part of technology in general, and what they're looking forward to doing going forward. The technology will be more scalable and more capable at that point, because whatever they decided to say get as a solution from via say AMD, IBM, or if they decide to go Intel or go ARM, all ARM or whatever, it might just end up being more capable, because we got cell phones competing with these platforms now. So
exactly, competing with platforms.
Yeah, it's just really it would be really, they would have to spend more money to make a less capable machine at this point.
Exactly.
So
I think Nintendo wants to work with power at this point. I think Nintendo is starting to see, just based on some of the ambitious styles of the games that they got coming out lately, even, and the fact that they've got Mario Maker out and everything, and it shows that they're trying to really move forward with their franchises in a way that includes graphical power too. You know what I'm saying?
I also think that they were kind of accustomed to doing so much with so little. And now that they're starting to see some of the other things that they're capable of being able to do with additional hardware threads and things like that, they're starting to branch out and make larger development houses internally to where they can start doing more stuff. So we'll start to see, I guess, the fruits of the labors once new hardware does hit. But
Long story
I'm
short,
excited and afraid at the same time at those possibilities.
yeah, but I mean, at the same point in time, though, like Nintendo learned the hard way, just like Microsoft and Sony did in the 7th generation with HD. They learned that, hey, the assets are going to require more. It's more than just, hey, more pixels, like it was from, say, the Super Nintendo to the N64 or the NES to the N64. It's more than just more pixels. So now that they started to understand that kind of stuff now, and how to do with the new generations of GPU architecture and shading language and stuff like that, then maybe they're more hip to the game now and able to jump on top of stuff. Because now all the newer kids that have been hired in house, they start to have they got games under their belt, and maybe they're getting studios together and internal teams together where they're already working on the next tech. So I'm guessing that they'll be much more prepared for the next platform than they were for Wii U, since Wii U was the first time around for content creation in high definition, other than, say, pamphlets that they were making for N64 type.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting. I'm just still bewildered by the gaming press at large to be so ignorant, and I think that they're starting to take their opinions. Their opinions have basically become their own lucid dreams, and they're still trying to pander it to their audience. And not all of us are going to buy it, man. You can't continue to tell me that Nintendo is trying to compete, or that it's even relevant for them to compete, or that Sony and Microsoft aren't shitting their pants every time Nintendo makes an announcement.
Yeah.
They tend to think the opposite, and therefore they force that to other people, and that's not accurate at all.
Well, I would venture to disagree with you, Shadowfox, in terms of the ignorance of the press. I think in order for such misinformation to be spread the way it is so systematically, I think they have to know what's actually going on. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to kind of sort of know what's actually going on in order to try and steer the audience in a different direction.
They do, but they don't, because they can't get the inside information anymore because Nintendo shut them out. So the couple of people that there are the players that give them the information that they want, they're going to favor that by default anyway. And since that was always what they favored, then they need to continue pumping that, because I mean, ad revenue is going to come that way anyway. Like, they started this whole. I mean, there was a mass unboxing of PS4s because they got a shipment of. Who the fuck will make a video about that? 30-something people opening their PS4s on for what?
IGN.
To entice a fanboy war, so more people can click and go to your channel. Like, what?
Wait, pause. Is somebody playing Kirby?
Probably.
It sounds like Kirby. Anyway.
Oh, I'm playing Maverick Hunter X on my PSP.
Oh, okay. All right. I was about to say it sounds like something spinning, vortexing. All right. Anyway.
That's my charge shot. Sorry.
Sorry. It was getting me. I had to figure it out.
I kind of want to. I don't know if you could hear the audio here. I kind of wanted to go ahead and play it if I could. I don't know if it'll come through or not, but it's just kind of. If you heard that, that's probably enough right there. So so we're just gonna have ads, and I don't know. It's just kind of scary to me, because now everywhere we look, any product placement is embedded with our gaming information, if you will. Well, not my gaming information, because I don't fucking trust them, but there's other people that obviously are, and they're gonna associate it together. You know, Mountain Dew, game trailers or whatever, if you will, ad nauseum. And these are reference points. The average person, I would say, 9 out of 10 times, if you interact with somebody on the internet or in person, all the information that they got, they're not going to admit where they got it from, because it's probably one of these two sources I was just talking about.
Exactly.
And they're not
for until a couple of years ago, they were one of my main sources for information.
It's just bewildering to me. Like at one point they were doing their job because they had no choice. At one point in time they weren't feeding them information, if you will, for the ad revenue and all the other kind of stuff. They had to go fight for it, and they had to call PR reps, and they had to talk to people and actually answer calls and do all the other kind of shit.
Wait, you mean they actually did their jobs?
Yeah, not saying they don't do it now, but now when somebody sends a trailer to Eurogamer, and then Digital Foundry gives an analysis of that with frame rate, come on, man. If the books aren't cooked, I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
I'm going to imagine that everybody that follows the Gamers at Large community and this YouTube channel, I'm going to hope and pray that they do not fall for this. But who outside of this community is really that dense? How could you not see? To me, it's blatantly obvious.
It is at this point. Like the last few years, yeah, it's just been getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
So now we're going to start.
Preposterous.
Now we're going to start coloring the NX the same way that the Wii U was colored before it launched. Let's shit on it. It launches. Wow, it actually did well its first 2 months, just like the Xbox One did. But let's shit on it anyway and say it had a really bad launch, even though it had more titles at launch than both the PS3 and the Xbox One. Let's talk about how the library is limited. Because there wasn't a Mario Galaxy at launch, because there wasn't a Zelda at launch. But there were 21 plus third-party titles available, and nobody bought them. Because nobody was talking about them.
Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about the fact that the NX probably going to have a Zelda game at launch. Probably going to have Mario, the next Mario 3D platformer at launch. Maybe.
At minimum, there will be a new Mario.
Yeah, at minimum, there will be a new Mario, a real 3D Mario adventure. And it won't be 3D World. I doubt it'll be that style again.
Why y'all be hating on 3D World? But I know what you're saying.
No, ain't no problem with 3D World. I love 3D World. It's just I doubt that they're gonna try and do that.
I think it's gonna be that Mario Galaxy style.
Yeah, it's gonna be Galaxy 3 or Galaxy Universe. I mean Mario Universe or something.
Have y'all seen how Mario Tennis Ultra Smash looks?
Yeah.
If Mario, we want to talk about graphics and stuff. If the next Mario looks like that, I'm gonna be happy.
Man, some parts of the 3D world will look like that too, though.
True.
For real.
But all of Mario's Power Tennis or whatever it is, all of that looks amazing. So, it's a kind of a precursor to what the game's gonna look like. And the style and the visual style and flair of the game really stands out to me. And I'm excited about what lies in the future. But yeah, of course the index can compete, man. Of course.
Does anybody really care? Like everybody's trying to throw these specs out or whatever, but nobody's actually paying attention to the actual words that were tweeted, if you will. At this point, you take it with a grain of salt, but
that's why I keep saying I'm gonna wait till E3 2016 because that's when that's when the reveal is supposed to be. That's why my hype level is not gonna go anywhere. I'm gonna wait and see, and I'll analyze then.
Good point.
Until then,
I'm still very
articles and do vids every 5 minutes. I'm not gonna believe it until I see E3 2016 and E3 2017.
So you heard it here. All those Nintendo haters that you follow on YouTube, why are they magically making videos about a Nintendo platform? And why are they speculating on it if they don't care?
They prepping for the trolling, man. They prepping for the hate. That's all. All it is. The only thing I'm gonna be tripping over is if it comes out in 2017. I'm gonna be feeling real silly. That's one thing that I think I might be myself on with.
That's more realistic.
I personally still think it's 2017.
Yeah, that's what they do. They reveal it one year and then the next year it comes out. I don't know where all this 2016 came from.
But look, they also never had a console fail this bad before. So they changed. The Virtual Boy. Okay, the Virtual Boy. And then guess what? The whatever next handheld came out. That's the Virtual Boy. They never had a home console do this bad. Things have gotten to the point.
GameCube was actually around the same.
I mean, it made profit. But I mean, well, Wii U made
Wii
profit
U's
too.
making profit, so it's
They
kind
all
of
make profit.
yeah.
But
GameCube
the
are kind
landscape
of the
has
same.
to change for Nintendo. Nintendo has to change the landscape, and I think now is an urgent time for them to do that. We're seeing all the signs pointing to a big change happening sooner rather than later. We don't know anything about next year, hardly, and
Yeah,
it's October. We don't know anything. So, if you don't think something big is happening next year, I don't see something must be wrong with you. And I love y'all, but bruh, something huge is happening next year.
yeah.
Because
That's what I'm saying.
usually,
That's
Oh
the
no
point.
no no! I'm with you. Plus the
because
30th anniversary of Legend of Zelda is next year as well.
but look, usually by this time with Nintendo, we know about at least one or two next year holiday games coming out this year. We don't know nothing like that right now. For all we
So
know, the new Zelda could come out in summertime.
so
You know what I'm
Mario
saying?
Mario
So
Galaxy 3, uh, Zelda 4K, and Metroid Prime 4 confirmed
Metroid Prime 4 cover based. It's gonna be a cover based shooter. You know
confirmed for
what I'm
launch.
saying? With particle effects everywhere,
Complete
and
with Samus
Of
ponytail.
course, multiplayer
Samus,
multiplayer
she's gonna
online.
have a
Can't forget that.
chainsaw and a gun. She's gonna have a chainsaw attachment.
And it's using Unreal Engine 8.
And if
Yes.
you pre-order it, you're gonna get a Zero Suit costume, and the enemies are gonna have bobbleheads. Yeah.
Yes. The collision detection will be horrible, just like Unreal
Oh,
4, but
yeah.
but but it looks so great.
Yeah, it looks good.
Nobody
You know the
cares.
collision detection is nowhere to be found.
Okay, all
Oh.
right, guys. Let's go to our next topic, and this one actually comes from Jamie Butterworth. He couldn't be with us tonight.
Butterworthy.
He's still recovering from a respiratory infection. So
Ooh,
um,
okay.
this one is for you, Jamie. He
God bless.
wanted us to talk about the microtransaction situation in the gaming industry today, with stuff, for example, like Destiny, the Metal Gear Solid base microtransaction where you can buy to build the base. Um, Number one, I hate microtransactions. I hate them. I'm not even gonna lie. I hate them because most of that stuff, if you're able to do in game, you should. If you're a gamer, you should at least be able to do the stuff that you need to do to get it in game. I'm not with, hey, you spend 99 cents.
What happened to
I ain't
unlockables?
with that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You know what's so great about Monster Hunter? I'm the Monster Hunter chieftain around these parts.
Oh, here we
The great
go.
Which
thing about
reminds
Monster
me, I
Hunter
just got
is
on it recently.
Monster Hunter could easily put a bunch of the content that you have to unlock by grinding and fighting monsters behind a paywall. But you know why they don't? Because the actual gameplay itself is so fun and exhilarating that you enjoy killing a damn Diablos or a Black Diablos or a Ruby Basarios or a Rathalos. You enjoy killing them every single time, even though
Yes,
you might not get the exact materials you need every single time. You enjoy that shit. That's the problem with microtransactions is these damn companies know they put
This is
games
coming from
together.
Capcom. That's the
They
scary part.
look. They know they're putting games together that are boring as hell and tedious as hell to play, and they're like, okay, people ain't gonna really want to do this. They ain't gonna want to play Metal Gear Solid or do this one little mission or something in Metal Gear Solid a million times over again.
But
So
it's
we
a
just gonna put it
cinematic
behind a paywall.
experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we gonna put certain stuff that motherfuckers who aren't really about playing the games. We're gonna just put it in there so they can just buy it out from the outset or whatever. Like that's to me that's what microtransactions are. That's what they offer like a lot of mobile games. You know what I'm saying? Earn your coins that you can use to play the game, or just buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like just buy it. You don't even have to play
And
to win.
there was a
Because the game
place.
ain't fun enough to play that much anyway.
There's a
You
great
know?
place. There's a great place where microtransactions work, and those are usually free to play games for the most part.
Exactly.
So
That's the only place where they work. Or maybe.
TF2, MMOs that didn't do so hot the first time around with their subscription model. They have found a way to make it work in the free to play realm, and then they just nickel and dime you for a little cosmetic shit that you want to, and people buy it because people are in that community so much that they find importance in certain things that they use throughout whatever realm it is that they're in or whatever.
And you
So
haven't had to put down that initial $60 investment or however
exactly,
much the investment is.
Exactly.
and you're
That's
allowed to have fun for a low cost or zero cost, and then whatever you want to spend is on your own at that point, or you could play it all free.
yeah.
So make it a choice. Don't charge me $60 for a game that's crashing that I have to download a update for that's larger than the original game came on disc, and then even after that I got to pay a $50 season pass, and then pay a $50 season pass, and then after that I got to pay $5 for skins. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but the Smash Brothers DLC is, ridiculous.
Yeah, but the game in question that I'm talking about took over $200 million to make,
Yeah.
but it launched broken.
Yeah.
Clearly, the $200 million was never targeted toward QAQC.
Man.
About 120 million of that is on advertisement.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I hate that. I hate the whole culture of the whole microtransaction thing because I just think it cheapens it.
Yeah.
It just cheapens it. And like you said, Twilight, Monster Hunter, that game actually makes you, once you get everything like you need it, it feels good killing a damn monster.
Yeah, man, you feel like you done accomplished something for real. And then you got to do it a million times over again. And that's exciting because you have a new experience to look forward to.
I'll have you know that I get annoyed sometimes, so I just want to have you guys note that when I have to do the grinding on Monster Hunter 4.
Well,
So
then,
just
just
note that.
Yeah, I love it.
Some people are blind to this because they've probably only been playing only Nintendo hardware for a while, so they may have not been playing on PC or anything like that before, and this came about. So the egregious stuff has happened on other consoles. I'll explain it as such. Imagine you're playing Xenoblade. You walk up to a character, you talk to them to do an alternate mission. They tell you can do this alternate mission, and then when you go to the area to start the mission, it requires real-world money for you to start it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I take my controller. I say F you.
Back it up.
I walk the hell away.
And that's basically where things are going at this point. So for those that don't understand that, imagine playing Phantasy Star Online, and instead of paying with in-game currency, you're paying with real money. That kind of stuff. Imagine playing, say, I don't know, Madden or whatever, and you play Madden, and for you to start a season, you have to bet on it like you're playing one of these FanDuel or whatever fantasy or whatever games, whatever. Just to get at the table, you got to spend money to play somebody online, and people are betting against y'all playing online, and they're making money off of it. But you had to pay money just to get in to play somebody else. And that's where they end up going if things aren't regulated at some point.
Here's why I like Nintendo and a lot of other Japanese developers and indie developers a lot, is they're not afraid to recycle assets from earlier games and everything like that, and they're not afraid to keep things a little cheaper. So people worry about graphics and the power of the system and everything like that, but the only way that these companies like Nintendo and everything have been able to keep stuff relatively cheap is by not blowing their fucking load and they're blowing their budget on stuff that ain't even important. Because now you got companies that are blowing their budget on these games, they still recycling assets from older games, and they still got to make you pay all this extra money just to play a whole game.
So,
you know what I'm saying? Because they got to make their money back. They got to make their money back.
3D World came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
8K art assets or whatever. Probably pretty expensive to produce, right? Sold that game for $60. The following year, Captain Toad comes out for $40, and they're still making a profit on both titles. It can happen. It can happen. The vast majority of those art assets are similar.
Now, Shadow, Mario 3D World is not a cinematic experience though. So cinematic.
Excuse me if I allow crates from every game to look alike. I don't know. I think a crate
Nintendo took the easy route with Mario 3D World. So yeah.
Never mind.
Never mind that it's actually a good game.
Yeah, and that global illumination and self shadowing and all that still doesn't show up in a lot of other games that are supposedly more high fidelity. Yeah, go figure with that, right?
Yeah. I think we've not thrown enough shade for today.
It's okay.
Nah, it's all good.
We'll let the people without information technology degrees tell me how video games work.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Let's move on to something a little bit. Well, it's gonna be half decent, half not decent. The first thing is, and I want to bring this up because this game does come out Tuesday, but last week it kind of pissed me off that 343 basically said that for the Halo 5 Guardians game, there's a 9 gig day one patch.
It's so hard being a fanboy. I'm gonna take that one on the chin because I got to play Halo 5.
I know,
it
man.
sucks so bad.
I hate it. I'm getting it too. But here's the thing.
Fanboys.
It's already a 60 gig install. Number one.
That we just got through bitching about.
From the disc.
60 gig install.
Yeah. And then on top of that, you tell me it's a 9 gig day one patch just to get the online working.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me announce my bias. Even though I just bitched about what we just bitched about, still going to get the Halo, okay? Still going to get the Halo.
But at least you're honest about it. You're like, you know what? Yeah.
I mean, see, Shelly, what I like about you is you play your games to have fun and you don't bullshit about if you're going to buy into some effed up stuff, you're going to own it. You're not going to sit there and buy into it and then try and turn around and be a hypocrite. And tell other people
exactly
the same thing.
I'm going to say, hey, this Halo 5 game is fun. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say.
If it
isn't fun, then it's a different conversation. But 343 got to be dumb to mess that up.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm still my game should be here on Tuesday. I'm just saying. I'm talking about like a 9 gig. This is a ridiculous patch.
Yeah, and most people don't have internet like that.
9. So basically, and we already know that as soon as that game launches, because people taking off from work, I should know. I know some people that are taking off from work that day. So I'm sitting here like the servers are probably gonna be full, probably day one. So I'm just sitting there like,
just to download the patch.
Yeah, just get the patch.
I'm like, this patch gonna take 8 million years to download because everybody and your mama gonna be downloading it.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the patch.
I'm scared the launch of that game is gonna be a cluster fluff because everybody will have to download, and you're gonna have some people who can't even play the game.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
Are gonna buy Halo. A lot of people don't even know about all the technical stuff behind all this. Mm-hmm. So when they get down and sit down with the Xbox and they want to pop the game in and just play it, they're gonna be like, man, what the heck is going on? Most people ain't going to be able to play it till the next day.
Yep.
Or until 3 o'clock that morning.
So real quick, let me tell you guys. So last year, Business Insider did a report, and their report that showed a map of every state of the United States with the highest average internet speed, right? Number one was Virginia. Their average internet speed was 13.7 megabits per second.
Wow.
That on average is not going to cut it for you downloading 9 gigs. It's not.
I mean, in any amount of time and fashion.
No, not in a timely fashion at all. So, if I was able to break it down to you, you're talking. Let's see, 13 divided by 8, almost 5 by 8. Whoa.
13 divided by 8. That's like 1.6 or something like that.
Yeah, and so you're talking anywhere between 3 maybe 4 hours for some of these downloads, and that's not even cool at all. And so I'm looking at just to go ahead and
now.
After the install, yeah, which is also going to take a while. So you said the disc is 60 gigs?
Disc is 60.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. Now I expected that to be big, especially after the whole Batman Arkham Knight thing. I expected
69 gigabytes ain't bad.
Yeah,
for Halo 5
Halo to be big. I expected that to be big. What I didn't expect was a 9 gig day one patch because the Batman one was 4 gigs, and that took at least 2 hours because I had it on the PS4 and that took 2 hours. And I live in Northern Virginia, by the way. So it took 2 hours for that to go through. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking forward to that, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around the purpose of the day one patch. I still don't understand the purpose of the day one patch.
To make sure the game ain't completely destroyed and broken when you play it. The day one patch is to ensure that the game is at least remotely playable because they rushed the launch.
Because that's what I'm saying. Shouldn't that be taken care of in Q&A?
Nope. That's how they took care of it. They were like, "Oh yeah, this is what we got to patch. This is what we're gonna have to patch day one." That's what they did in Q&A.
Yeah.
This is how we're gonna have to patch it. Bow. Release it. Put it in people's hands. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have it, but I'm probably not gonna have any gameplay up till like Friday. I'm already expecting that.
Yeah. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm probably.
And people have to go to work and all that kind of stuff. I mean, they're not gonna be able to play the game till the weekend or when they get off work the next day. They're gonna be to spend the whole night downloading shit, and then they're gonna have to. Oh man.
Why are you sounding all salty? It's not like you got an Xbox One and you're buying this game. Why should you care?
But if I did, dude, if I care because it's gaming, dude. I would like to believe.
That if I bought I'm messing with you, right?
I know, but let me say
I'm just pointing out that you care, and it's good.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at somebody who they got people who would say that, Rachidi. I mean, people would actually ask me that. You know what I'm saying? Like they would be like,
true.
"Why would you care? You're just a Nintendo fanboy." No, I like to believe if I bought an Xbox, I'm not a fanboy to the point where I'm like, I'm not gonna buy an Xbox. I would like to know that if I bought one this year or next year, that I'd be able to play my game when I bought it. I'd be able to put it in the thing and play it. And apparently, I can't. That's a problem.
That is a big problem.
That's a huge problem. 69 gigabytes right off the bat.
That's more space that's more than everything on my Wii U. Everything.
So it'll take around 1.5 to 2 hours at 13.7 megabits per second to download a 9 gig file.
Imagine if you in New York or something.
Yeah, and it's gonna reset.
Imagine if you in Southwest Georgia. Yeah, hang it up.
Jeez.
Not playing that till Saturday.
So a standard T1 connection, you're talking about 13 hours. 13 hours for a standard T1 connection. That's business class, but it's 1.5 megabits per second.
I don't understand, man. I don't understand.
Yeah, and it's not the average. The highest average for the United States is 13.7, as of 2014 anyway.
See, that's why you tell them to get a PSP, Vita, or 3DS, and they play that while it downloads.
I mean,
man, that's some BS.
Or play a Flappy Bird or Angry Bird or whatever evil mobile games there are out there.
Microtransactions going in that too.
There you go.
Let's play Monster Hunter. Let's get you a Monster Hunter shit.
You know, I would be an outlier because my bandwidth is a little bit higher.
Actually, I should pop my Monster Hunter in mine right now.
Like, my bandwidth would put me right at around 16 to 17 minutes. But at the same point in time, I pay anywhere between $90 and $110 a month for the dedicated bandwidth that I have, and the average person doesn't have that in Georgia. Period.
No.
Let alone other places in the United States. Like some people have Google Fiber and stuff like that, and they might be able to pull this stuff down in 5 minutes or whatever. But that's still
I only get 90 megabytes right now.
Still, you're talking about you put a disc in a system and you can't play the game.
Yeah.
You have to wait an additional amount of time. You got to go make a sandwich before you can play the game for the first time. And
several sandwiches.
To the point where my son is accustomed to it now. Whenever he gets a new game, he puts it in the Xbox and walks away.
Isn't that crazy?
That is sad. Shame. That's freaking sad.
That's a doggone shame.
I mean,
you remember when the Wii U first came out and everybody they made it a point to talk about how the Wii U's first update was just a trip. I'm like, that's at least a whole console, and it didn't take hours.
You didn't have to plug that thing up to the network to play their first game.
Nope.
NBA 2K13 worked without you plugging it up to the network.
That it did.
Man,
That's
kids
sad.
should not be
Feel like-
accustomed to that. They really shouldn't.
That's sad. Be like,
Being
all
able
right,
to
I got
put
the
your game in
game.
the system and play it should not be associated with an archaic way of doing things. Because pretty soon that's what fanboys are going to say. They're going to be like, "Oh well, man, that just mean your system ain't got nothing going on. It ain't. It just
Nah,
ain't
But
strong."
guys. But guys, it's a good thing. You see, by doing this, the kids could go outside and play a few rounds of basketball at
They're
the
not
park,
gonna do none of that.
and then come back.
They're gonna get on their smartphones or their tablets
exactly.
and get on Facebook and play.
So what it reminds me of is back in the day when you had to buy a game on multiple floppies, and you had to wait for all those floppies to load.
That's funny.
Chippendales Rescue Rangers.
See,
I remember
that's
that.
before my time.
See that? Yeah, that's back in the old school days, and now we're back full
Yeah.
cycle all over
So,
again
like-
because
Yep.
the games have got bigger
Three
than the
different
media.
discs.
Mhm.
There's a pop 2-3 different discs. Make sure it all loads and then install, and then begin the game.
Yeah, I remember those days.
And people complain about the Wii U only having 32 gigs of space, and I'm like, but those games work in there, and they don't work on the Xbox One and
You
PlayStation 4.
put them in.
And you can attach a huge hard drive to it.
Exactly.
Oh man,
Not
options.
even
Options.
nowadays.
Real options. Not
Shit, they
advertised.
got thumb drives that are like 256 gigabytes to go.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
plug it in and
I got a 1 terabyte to go right now, and I got 3 terabytes in the dock right now.
See?
But those are. I need to figure something out because I plan on doing another video for these other two platforms because I've already given up the ghost on the Xbox One, and I'm probably gonna have to do it for the PlayStation 4 at some point once I finally start playing more games on it. So I got to start showing which drivers are really good for them, and
Once you
whether you
finally start playing games on it.
Yeah, because I've only been playing like downloadable titles on it. Like, the last retail game I played on the PlayStation 4 was Infamous.
Really? No,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous, dude. Okay, I'm not even gonna go so far as to say that the system got that much of a drought. You could have played some other games.
No, there's other stuff, but I mean,
it's just not his taste.
I
It's
could
not
also
his
play
taste,
it on the
yeah.
Xbox One, or I could just play it on PC and not have issues. So
Hey,
It
I'm
is what
playing
it is.
Destiny right now, kinda sorta.
and I was gonna get Destiny for the PS4, right? But my son has friends on the Xbox One on live, so
Mhm.
he got it for the Xbox One. So I played the alpha and the beta on the PlayStation 4.
Destiny.
So I was actually used to playing on the PS4, but then when it came down to it,
I don't know if I could recommend the game. I'm enjoying it, but I don't know if I
Most
didn't
people
get the
can't.
special.
now I would
If I
recommend.
didn't,
I
if
can
I
recommend it
didn't
now
get the
'cause
special
they made it better.
edition, what's up?
Uh-huh.
They made it a lot better now. It's a little bit easier for somebody new
Oh,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
into it.
Yeah, that's how I got into it. The Tekken King edition is really good. They,
Yeah.
they bump up the weapons and
The grinding isn't worthless anymore.
yep.
So it's a little bit easier for everybody now at this point.
Is it kind of like the Monster Hunter of shooters? Because there's a lot of channels that do Monster Hunter and Destiny at the same time.
In a way.
Kinda.
Now, of course, not exactly, but I'm just wondering, like, is it
Think
that kind of addictive kind of fun?
Think of
Monster Hunter
it,
is way better.
If
Monster
you
Hunter is way
got a
better.
group of friends to play with, it's awesome.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah! When you do a raid,
Yeah.
yo, those raids are crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
when it comes to like base stats and stuff like that, it's just like any JRPG or any MMO that you would play, like WoW or something like that. You match everything to fit with your base stats from when you first made your character, and then you have light points that go on top of that. And
okay.
that just determines what extra stuff you get after that. And levels are almost irrelevant at a certain point in that game.
See, Monster Hunter, you ain't even got levels. Anyway,
It's just equipment.
Equipment.
you just got your own elbow grease and hard work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit. It is basically like it's a baby MMO that they made, with kind of like Halo shooting controls, and it's that part is really fun.
Okay. I want to ask you guys' opinion since you're on here. Is it just me? I think I might have gotten spoiled by Splatoon, but does Destiny feel kind of sluggish, like the movements and stuff?
The Halo
like the precision and the movement. I mean, it's still good, but I guess I'm used to faster precision.
Let me tell you something. once you go motion with first-person shooters, you can't go back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to feel. I'm like,
tried so hard to sleep on the Wii remote and nunchuck. This is I'm gonna give credit to Red Knight. He preaches this all the time. People wanted so hard to sleep on the Wii remote and nunchuck for everything, but that was the perfect interface for shooting, and so is the Wii U gamepad. Motion in general. If you're using motion to play a shooter of any kind, third or first, you're gonna have trouble going back to using controls. I have
I ain't
trouble.
gonna lie to you. I would love to use my gamepad on Destiny.
Hey, Shadow.
I'm scared to death that
Yeah.
the NX is not going to have point controls for any shooters that come to that system. I really am.
Sounds like they Shadow. Remember that podcast we did that time about the very same topic?
Oh yeah. We did that one about people finding out who played Conduit or not when you play Black Ops. You find out real quick when you play Black Ops, people all over the place making headshots from all kind of different ways, falling off of a building, still managing to be able to shoot you in the head. Like that kind of stuff would never happen with two analog sticks.
Nope.
Exactly.
But it happens with a remote chuck.
Yep.
That's why they really didn't want cross-platform play, because the people on the Wii U probably would have won.
Oh yeah, and
Quick question: Is that motion? Is the PS Motion compatible with the PS4? Probably not, is it?
I
They
thought it would have been because it still has the PlayStation camera can pick it up. So
Yeah, they don't utilize it though.
They should, man. Even though it looks so ridiculous. they should.
I'm sorry, as now that I'm a Nintendo gamer, well, I play on everything, but I need that speed and precision, and everything just feels so clunky now. I didn't realize how bad it got until I picked up Destiny. I'm like, man, I like this game, but I feel so slow and sluggish.
no, if you want to feel bad about that, play Splatoon or play Metroid Prime 3 and then go play Halo 3.
Yeah, you'll be mad.
I made a mistake of doing that. No, not
Why did you do that to yourself, man?
not fun. Because some friends were still playing, and I hopped on to do some dumb stuff. I hopped on there, and I'm like, man, I can't even play this anymore. It's not the same.
I will be honest. Like when I'm playing like Metroid Prime 1, 2, or 3, and I'm gonna go back to like another shooter, I wait a day.
And you know what's so ironic about motion controls is the fact that people associate it with like kiddie party games and stuff now because of the Wii. But it's so ironic that actual style of control wound up being the best for the most bro dude of genres of games, and that is the first-person shooter.
But people ignored it.
It's the superior interface. It's just a shame that it didn't pick up on us.
Twilight.
The Twilight. You know what the sad part is? If you would have said that to me about a year ago, I'd have been like, bro, you fanboying a little too much.
No, I'm gonna say you're a fanboy because this is why you're a fanboy, because the aficionado of gaming, the emperor of gaming himself, Demon Hatefield of IGN, says that Wii motion gaming sucks and therefore it's not good for any game, quote unquote.
Yeah, he's an idiot. Anyway,
after my Destiny experience, I'll have to tell him he's a tard because
it's already been proven he doesn't play games and finish them. So
but he will change his tune just like everybody else did once he starts playing games for Oculus and they see their motion controller. Then they will cream their pants because some of the presses already has, even though it's very similar to what the Wii Motion Plus is.
Don't one of them even look like a Wii remote?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of them is a Wii remote that twists around your hand, like it has like this thing that goes in between each finger, so you can simulate a hand.
These cats only want
it's a modified Power Glove.
Pretty much.
It's really a lot of xenophobia in the gaming industry, especially the Western gaming industry. Like they really want to like completely deny Japanese gaming in general any kind of legitimacy. They're slowly phasing that out. You know what I'm saying? Like people forget that Metal Gear Solid is a Japanese game. Like people like talk about that game like it's Call of Duty or something. That's a Japanese game. People forget about that stuff.
Yeah.
But Jay, can I
action?
Can I segue into something because I have to leave in a few minutes?
Yeah, sure.
I want to talk about something just because we were talking about Woolly World before the cast, right?
Yeah.
And of course, we can review that game a little bit, but I also want to talk about what that game represents for me. And this game is on a console that isn't running 8 million polygons, but the game, the next step, the only way this game could look any better in terms of like feeling like real, like really like immersive, is if it was like photorealistic. Like it would have to actually be yarn running around on the screen in order for it to really look any better to me.
Maybe it
And
can
that's
run in
like
4K. That's
maybe,
the only thing.
you know what I'm saying? But it's a game that most people in the gaming community today think they're too cool for. And they're sleeping on it. They're sleeping on this game really hard. But it's a beautiful, beautiful game, and not just because of the photorealism, but because of the style and the substance over just style. You know what I'm saying? Like the style of the game really brings forth a new life to the Yoshi series. Like Yoshi, the Yoshi platformers, they got real stale. I mean, I think after Yoshi's Story, like Yoshi's Story wasn't even really a good game to me.
Nah,
And
I don't think it.
I'm a
I don't
fanboy.
think it was a game. I think it was more of
Hmm.
like Yoshi kind
Yeah.
of
Like a
Yoshi
tech
needs
demo.
a story basically.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
Yoshi's Island 2 came out on the DS. That was a good game. But then they came out with the new Yoshi's Island. That sucked. And they had Yoshi's Topsy Turvy, which also sucked. And now this game is out, but they added a whole new level. Because, at first Yoshi was crayon. It all looked like it was done with a crayon. And then you had Yoshi's Story, which looked like, cardboard boxes. And it looked like what you call the things they put in the shoebox, the diorama. I can't remember.
Yeah, diorama. Yeah.
But now this game looks like a damn quilt shop, and it's really, really charming the way that they work everything out with the elements. The water is not actually water; it's some kind of blanket, and the fire is it's just so creative. You know what I'm saying? And I just love how we still have developers out there who know how to bring charm to a game, like pushing 1,000 polygons, and I don't even know the point I'm trying to make. I just love it. It's such a great style to have. You know what I'm saying? And
But
they just did something
didn't the indie game overshadow that game at E3?
What?
Well,
The Yarn Man game or whatever it was.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Well, a lot more people were talking about it.
People were liking that game at E3.
What? Yoshi's Woolly World?
Yoshi's Woolly World.
Yeah, they were.
They
People
were
weren't
liking it.
talking about it like that though. Like they were talking about that other game instead. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Well, that's because they had remember.
Well, they had a feature for Woolly World last year.
Yeah, this is.
They featured Woolly World last year, so this year was just like, okay, just put the damn game out. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we've been waiting on it since before the Wii U came out.
Yeah.
So that's why they were probably talking about it more. But I can't believe what they've done with this game.
But see, Twilight, I think the point you made was that it's creative. I mean, I don't understand why game developers went to stop being creative. I don't understand that. I'm like, that way you can actually learn how to do something different and don't be afraid to do that instead of giving us the same thing over and over year after year.
Like
basically making people spend $60 for a glorified map pack.
I mean, the creativity. Like they have this like Egyptian level where they got like these little decorative stoles hanging around from the ceilings and stuff. And you look at them close, and they're shoestrings, decorated shoestrings, and all of it's like real world material that they use. Like the bullets aren't bullets; they're like buttons. You know what I'm saying? And it just Koopas are like buttons and yarn put together. It's just crazy how they did it, man. I just think it's incredible the creativity that these people still showing, even today, with just the staleness. But I guess I wanted to get you guys' impression for those of you who have played it. I mean, what do you think of the game? Like,
I've only played a demo of it, but the demo is like so gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I just seeing it in motion is just amazing. It basically took Kirby's Epic Yarn and went to the nth. Like it's more fluid. The colors are more vibrant. Everything is just like the detail is just amazing. It looks like you can take the Yarn Yoshi amiibo, hold it in front of the screen, and everything belongs.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how it looks.
Yeah.
It's really hard to find pixels in that game. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I played the demo too. The demo blew me away. I didn't expect it to play like that, and I'm not really that big of the Yoshi's his standalone series. I'm not a real big fan of that series, but yeah, I'm probably gonna have to pick that one up.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing right now.
I'm in the same boat as Jay.
Okay. I mean, first of all, Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo, that's like a perfect game. That game is flawless in every sense of the word. And this game, the only thing I had to say that bothers me about it is it's definitely easier. It's definitely a more linear experience, less expansive.
Mhm.
But what they do with the art style and everything really makes up for the largeness of the old game by just like, oh man, the game makes me gush, man. I don't even know what I want to say next. It's just fire. Make sure y'all go support this
But
game, man, because
I, I, I will
no
say
one's playing.
the game has to be made easier because they're trying to ease more people into it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same point in time, it's also a multiplayer game. So from what
It
I
is.
understand, it gets a lot harder once you have two people because you're trying to juggle people back and forth and make sure that
Mm-hmm.
everybody's able to clear and do what they need to do or whatever. So it's a completely different game once you have more people in there, even though it's the same levels per se.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the
Yeah.
challenges within the. You could choose to take it on or ignore it. And if you
yeah.
take it on, it's not going to be easy.
Now, what I
Mm-hmm.
have been hearing is people basically be hypocrites and complain because the the button controls are still the same. So with you aiming your eggs and stuff like that, it's similar to what it was on the SNES. And people
And I
wanted
don't see
you
the
to
problem
map
with that.
that. People wanted you to map that to an analog stick, and I'm like,
Why?
that's the charm of the game. That was the whole point. Was Yoshi makes that little noise, he grunts while he aims or whatever, and then you figure out where you're gonna aim at. Like what?
Then it would be made. Then it would really be too easy if you could just do it however you want to. Like I
Exactly.
think people miss the point, man. People, oh my god, that's just like saying, oh, let me control Mario's jump and just place him down wherever I want him to be placed
Yeah,
down. You know, because
It's
the actual platforming in Yoshi isn't really the challenge. Like the jumping from platform to platform is not really that hard.
yeah, it's
It's
aiming those
about
eggs.
aiming those eggs and also platforming and also having to watch out for enemies that's coming at you. Man, oh
Yeah.
man.
And so if you're able to aim any way, the only way they could balance the game at that point is to throw more enemies at you or make spaces tighter that you aim into.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah.
way to really fix that, and
Oh my god.
that would damage the game, I think, in my opinion. But
Well, you guys, I have to leave, but I just want to tell the gamers at large, folks, to buy this game because it's fire, and I really appreciate y'all having me on. This is Twilight, and I got to go. All right.
All right, man. Thanks for showing
All
up,
right,
dude.
peace, Twilight.
See ya.
later, man.
So, well, for what we're gonna do, I think what we're just gonna go and do is just gonna go on and wrap it up for tonight's episode. We will be back on Wednesday night for the midweek show. Shep, why don't you go and give your outro?
Hey guys, I'm sorry I didn't contribute as much. I actually like tonight's topics. We need to dwell on this more at another time. But thanks for listening, y'all. Gotta go all the best. I actually have some great content coming up. I'm very excited, and hopefully y'all will enjoy it too. Keep your eyes peeled. And that's about it. See y'all in the midweek cast, peeps. Take care.
All right, thanks. All right, Shadow, got anything you want to pimp out?
Thank you for joining this week's Shadowcast / Twilight. Gamers at Large podcast. It's been a wonder and delight to be on here speaking with you guys, and look forward to more content coming from me soon. And as I always say, do you play games to have fun or to impress other people?
All right, for me, Jay, I'm gonna have a couple of playthroughs coming up. Got some Halloween stuff coming up. I'm probably gonna be playing Fatal Frame. Probably either gonna live stream it if I can get the live streaming to work again, or I'm just gonna record it as well as doing one for Resident Evil. I also gonna be putting up on the Gamers at Large YouTube channel another gameplay vid for Tales of Zestiria that's out on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PC. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Peace out.
Peace.
Gotta say something at the end. Oh my God!